once you fully decide and move from the idea of what it is that you want without any wavering of doubt or anything like that, the divine will begin to orchestrate things that's called bridges of incidents. And I heard this from this other creator on YouTube, and she was talking about the bridge of incidents. And this is actually something from Neville Goddard, which aligns with everything that I'm talking about. And the bridge of incidents is basically when you claim the reality that you want and you assume that it's already done, it is inevitable for it to happen. And what will happen are divine orchestrated events and circumstances that will lead you up to your manifestation. So the manifestation itself isn't just going to drop into your lap just because you claim it and you believe it to be true. But one thing that she said was, and I forgot her name, I will mention it if I remember it, but I forgot her name. But this is my interpretation of the message. So once you have claimed the reality that you want and these incidents start to form and appear and you start to move through them, there can be two things that we do. One of those things is just sit there and pretty much just look at everything that's happening. And then the other thing is basically go back. And I want to tell you to not go back and to do not stop. Do not stop. And not only am I talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. Because a lot of times when you are manifesting something, the incidents that are occurring that are leading up to the manifestation are not necessarily going to be directly seen as a trailway to where you're trying to go. And this is why it's important to remain present, to stay present, and to just go with the flow of things. Your presence is where the magic happens. This is something that I learned from The Power of Now, and I have it right here. And this is an intuitive message. Only some people will come across this message and it'll resonate, and some of you will watch this message and then come back and listen to it again and it'll make sense. But I'm just going to flip to a page in The Power of Now because this book is very, very powerful, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend reading it, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey. Okay. Alright. As you do that, a shift in consciousness takes place inside you. Here's why. The inner equivalent to objects in space, such as furniture, walls, and so on, are the objects. Hold up. You cannot think and be aware of space or of silence for that matter. You cannot think and be aware of space or silence for that matter. By becoming aware of the empty space around you, you simultaneously become aware of the space of no mind, of pure consciousness, of the unmanifested. Okay, let me break that down. So, when you come into presence, there is a magic that's happening within the present moment that is leading to the next step, which is something that you cannot see. It is something that you literally have to walk through and experience. So a lot of times when we're trying to manifest, we try to manifest things in an exact way that we want it to happen, but that is not how the divine works. And you have to be in partnership with the divine while you're manifesting, because otherwise you're just doing whatever the fuck you want to do. And you are always being guided to where to take the next step. When you have claimed whatever it is that you want, you will be guided to take another step that leads to what it is that you want. All you need to do is persist in the assumption and continue to walk as if it is already done. And to not worry about how or who this thing is going to come from or who is going to approach you and stuff like that. These things will happen naturally because it is inevitable once you claim it for yourself. And one thing that I've noticed on my journey is that one thing that has prevented me from being able to manifest what it is that I truly want, or just manifestation in general, is not being clear on what it is that I want. Just being super vague about what it is that I want. And I think that it's very important to gain clarity and to visualize. It would be very hard for me to visualize certain things that I wanted because it's just like, they would just be so vague. It's like, okay, I want to manifest 10,000 followers. But it's like, okay, what do you actually want though? What impact do you want to create? How do you want to be seen? How do you want to, how is your personal brand speaking? What is it saying? What are you doing? Who are you? You know? And that is very important when it comes to manifesting, because all manifestation is being. That's literally it. All it is being. All the videos that I make about manifestation, the law of assumption, all of this is literally just to curate the energy of being. That one simple word, being, in the state that you are wanting to be in. And yeah. So in that statement, when he was talking about the unmanifested is the divine doing its work. When you place your order, you need to trust that the people, the employees working in the back, are fixing your order and are going to give it to you, because they will. And that is the same thing with the divine. Once you have claimed what it is that you want, once you say, okay, I want a large fry, you don't sit there and wonder how, when, why, who's going to give it to me, what's the employee's name, what do they look like. You're not worried about all of that, because it does not matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that it gets to you, right? And you don't need to interfere with Spirit's way of orchestrating certain things to happen. All you need to do is follow the path. And presence is very important, because when you are present, you will know exactly what to do. When you are present, you will intuitively have the guidance to take another step that is going to lead you to another step. And you have to be mentally aware that you are being divinely guided. And as I'm making this fucking video, a moment of transparency here, I literally just had full storage, right? that's why the clip just cut off. But so I went and like deleted some of the other videos, because I re-recorded whatever, and I literally deleted the first half of this video. But everything happens for a reason. I'm not even mad, because I know that I am being divinely guided. And that is something that you have to know. No matter what shows up for you, you have to know that you are being divinely guided, and you cannot let small inconveniences deter you or make you stop on the bridge or make you sit down. She said, this was really good. She said, when you are going across the bridge of incidents to your manifestation, there's only one way to get there. That is why it's inevitable. It's not 5 pathways to get to where you are going. And sometimes along the journey, you can just stop and just sit there on the bridge. And that really resonated with me, because I've had those moments where I felt like, okay, what am I doing? Like, I've been following my intuition and I'm not really like seeing things and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that you just sit there and stop, because you feel the urge to keep going. You feel the nudges to keep going. You may feel a little bit lost along the journey, but all you have to do is just persist in your assumption and continue to move. Even if it's slow motion, that's better than no motion. And just keep going. Keep going. And we can sometimes look at things and think like, you know, all of the work that you are putting in is not really going anywhere. But you never know how the universe is going to gift you, because your life right now is based upon past assumptions. Every accomplishment that you have achieved has come through an assumption that you believe that you can do it. Even if it was unconscious, even if consciously you're like, oh, I can't do this, but really you know you could. And that is what, that core belief overrided that feeling of doubt. And yeah,